What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, holy smokes. We finally got to see a little sneak peek of what's going on with Battlefield 6 Season 4 when it comes to at least the mid-season event, which is, I know, quite some ways out there. But still, it doesn't matter how far out there it is. We got to see a brand new game. Well, not brand new. We got to see a mode that is returning within the Battlefield 6 experience. And let me tell you guys something. I've been begging for this since day one. And, oh my goodness, it's finally coming on through. But for those who are curious, I do have some leaked footage for you guys showcased in the background here. I don't know if this will be allowed or not. It might have to be shifted to different gameplay. But this is going to be showcasing the brand new modes, so on and so forth. But before we go ahead and deep dive into all of this juicy stuff, I do want to talk about the major updates that are coming into Battlefield 6 Season 4. I'm not going to go over absolutely everything since you probably already heard about this, but I do want to touch upon some of these things. And also touch upon another controversial topic that people are kind of getting feisty over when it comes to social media. But first and foremost, the major updates. Water gameplay improvements, player movement and combat polish, vehicle and water interaction updates, UI, HUD, and menu clarity, portal creator updates, audio improvements, and also RedSec and ranked battle royale polish. I'm going to be real with you guys. This update in particular, although it's a massive seasonal update, seems a little lackluster when it comes to improvements. Nothing too insane, but honestly, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world for me. I know a lot of people have a lot of stuff on their checklist that they want to see fixed. Personally, I think Battlefield 6 is in a pretty reasonable spot. But again, more work can definitely be done. But I'm sure they'll probably be working on more detailed stuff as we continuously push on through with Season 4. But the biggest thing that a lot of people have been kind of getting a little up in arms about when it comes to social media is the sliding within Battlefield 6. They actually made a few changes here. First and foremost, slide activation now requires a slightly higher movement speed, reducing cases where sliding could trigger without sprinting first or while crouch sprinting. Second, sliding no longer re-triggers when the crouch hold input remains held after initial slide. And lastly, sliding no longer triggers when landing from a fall or jump if the crouch hold input was released before touching the ground. I'm going to be real with you guys. I see a lot of people online who are saying this is horrible, why change the slide? And I also see a bunch of other players saying this is amazing, screw people who like movement, sliding shouldn't be in Battlefield. I don't really have too much to say besides don't get your hopes up when it comes to this. For those who are excited thinking that movement is going to be extremely toned back, don't get your hopes up. And for those who think movement is about to get destroyed, don't lose all hope in the game itself. I don't think that this is going to be anything too insane. Maybe it will be, because personally I haven't gotten to actually try out these changes, but I don't think the movement is going to be that drastically changed off of what they put through here. But again, I do want to hear what you guys got to say down in the comment section below. Do you guys enjoy the movement? Do you like how you can slide in Battlefield 6? Or do you believe that it should be tuned down a lot more? Basically non-existent when it comes to the Battlefield 6 experience. But with that being said, let's get into the most important factor of this overall video. I know it's kind of funny because I know a lot of people out there are going to think that the patch notes are more important, or all the updates are more important. But to me, I guess I'm a little bit of an oddball. But what's really important to me is the brand new mode that is coming into Battlefield 6 Season 4. I don't think it's going to be coming at launch, more than likely mid-season, but still, I'm stupidly excited. Ever since day one, when they announced saying, maybe we are working on a little bit of naval combat, the first thing that came to my mind is Carrier Assault. What a game mode, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely thought it was outstanding. I mean, I think Titan mode in 2142 is also extremely dope, but Carrier Assault was very unique when it came down to Battlefield 4. And in all reality, I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be introduced into Battlefield 6, especially with the introduction of naval combat coming back on through. It's funny because actually in my previous video where I'm talking about this overall season, I was pointing out the carrier saying, please, DICE, just put in Carrier Assault. You already have 2 carriers on the dang map. There's no reason not to introduce this game mode. Previously, we got Operations, so clearly I think DICE is, kind of taking inspiration from previous Battlefield games when it comes to these brand new modes that are getting reintroduced into the Battlefield 6 experience. So why not add carrier assault? And lo and behold, that is exactly what these developers are doing, and I am so unbelievably excited. I think they call it carrier strike when it comes down to the new, version of carrier assault, but it's basically the same exact game mode. I'm so pumped to finally hop back in and give this bad boy a go. Like I stated, I know it's going to be a bit of a bummer because it's probably not going to be there at launch, but that's okay. Give the community a little bit of time to mess around with the maps, have some fun, try out the new vehicles, get the new guns, enjoy the content. And then, bam, throw in carrier assault and we can just get right back into the action. The only thing that I can really think of that sucks here is that carrier strike, which again is carrier assault, but carrier strike is just basically a part of the Top Gun event. For anybody that doesn't know, we're getting a collab within Battlefield 6 for Top Gun. Now, I actually have a completely separate video, put out for this one because I do want to talk about collabs within the Battlefield 6 universe, especially when it came down to their trailer that they posted before Battlefield 6 even launched. I want to get into more detail. A little sneak peek, though, I do think that Battlefield handles collabs in a much better way compared to other titles that I play out there, Call of Duty. But again, that's a topic for another day. The point that I'm trying to make here is that carrier strike is basically a part of the Top Gun event. And as we all know, events are limited time, meaning that when the Top Gun event goes away, carrier strike will more than likely follow suit. And I'm worried about this. And I know people will say, well, you know what? If it's popular, maybe they'll keep it. But the same thing was said about Operations. Now, they did extend Operations, but from the last time that I heard, I thought Operations was supposed to return by now in its full form. But we have still yet to see it return at all. Now, they did keep Obliteration. That was very nice of them. But I can't lie to you guys, when it comes to these event modes, it's very hit or miss. Either they're going to keep it or they're going to just strip it, and it might take forever to see it ever return. Now, the good thing, though, about Carrier Assault is that there's only a couple of naval maps in this game. So it's not like Operations where, it's only one set of operations that they have put together, and they have to go back to the drawing board, probably hire voice actors again, and, put together, a bunch of different maps that will blend nicely, and then actually work on it and try to make sure it flows correctly. It's a process, right? Whereas Carrier Strike, we already have the naval maps. They've been practicing this game mode for ages now, and they don't have to worry about adding it into the rest of the map rotation. So, I don't know. I'm worried, but I really hope they keep it. I do. I know it's only going to be present on a couple of maps, and they're probably thinking in the back of their minds it might affect queue times. But man, what a mode. And honestly, we just need more and more variety when it comes to the large-scale modes, if you ask me personally. We already have so many small modes. They spent all of Season 1 stuffing us with small modes. Operations was probably one of the better big modes that they introduced into the game, but again, that's stripped out at the current moment. I'm just glad they kept Obliteration. And this will be another nice one. Another nice one to add to the list of big team modes within Battlefield 6. And also for the fans of aerial combat, personally, I like infantry modes. And, obviously Carrier Assault is right up my lane. But for those who like, the jets especially, I was going to say helicopters, but this is going to be focused on jets. We're going to be getting a fighter sweep, which is going to revolve around, once again, just strictly aerial combat. And I think you have to go ahead and take out caches or whatever on the ground as well to slowly progress your points. But, it's going to be a dogfight game mode, which I think a lot of players out there will indeed enjoy because we haven't had any mode like this. You probably can find it in Portal, but let's be real, Portal servers are meh. This is going to be an official mode on the official, EA DICE servers here for Battlefield 6. I think that this is going to be pretty cool for a lot of those players. But overall, ladies and gentlemen, again, I am so pumped for Season 4. I am completely ready. I am ready to grind. And also on top of that, there's going to be a bunch of other stuff coming on through. I think Arc Raiders is getting a wipe. Marathon's coming out with a PvE mode. This upcoming Tuesday is going to be a very hot day. So, of course, subscribe to this channel. Hit that bell. You best believe I'm going to be talking about everything Battlefield. And also all those other games I mentioned as well. I post actually 2 times a day here. So I try to cover everything as soon as possible. And also, don't forget, can catch my live streams as well over on Twitch, where I will indeed be playing Season 4 of Battlefield 6 live and in action. So if you guys want to see my live impressions before I go ahead and push out some content on it, by all means, you can find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.